Oh, your boy's in a great mood, man. Are you guys enjoying the basketball? Hey, it's Rick Kamla here with the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. Whew, what a weekend of hoops, man. The second round is here. This is so incredible. This is exciting. These matchups are crazy. Big guest joining us here. A buddy of mine. I've interviewed him on other platforms. Absolutely terrific. Coach James Young. He's with SportsGrid. He's a great handicapper, brilliant basketball mind. I'm psyched to be joined by him at 11:20. All right, so that's coming up. So much to get to. The cameo of the week. We'll bring Shaq back for the weekly MVO, the most valuable other. We've got obviously the core four, Cam's core four here at the top. Rick's rant. It's all going on. We're going to try to pack it all into 1 hour of in a basketball extravaganza. So Cam's core four. We begin with the Buddy Hield game. Huh? I didn't think that we'd be starting the show here on Monday with we are Buddy Hield. What happened in Houston last night? I mean, Game 7, everything on the line. Guys, that was impossible to see. Buddy Hield having 33, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 12 of 15 shooting, 9 of 11 on threes. Tied the record for threes made in a Game 7 with Dante DiVincenzo. No, I did not know that history. I forgot about Dante's 9-3 ball game. I don't even know who he did it against. But that's pretty cool. Guys, in the previous 2 games, these are the stats that you probably haven't heard. He played 35 minutes, and he started both games. 35 minutes total. 4 points on 2 of 10 shooting. This doesn't make sense. I don't know what kind of hyperbole to get into here. It's one of the most unforeseen, oh my God, games in NBA history. It just is. I don't know how else to say it. The greatest role player game in NBA. I mean, I'm sure there's been better role player games. This is one of the best role player games in NBA history. It's Game 7, baby. At Houston. You were almost about to blow a 3-1 lead. And Buddy Hield went, I got this. Dude, he had 35 minutes played in the previous 2 games. He scored 33 points in Game 7. He scored 4 points over 2 games. That's 2 points per game. And then spiked up to 33. It's insanity. It's not Linsanity. It's insanity. I'm super happy for Buddy Hield. They interviewed him on TNT afterwards, and Buddy's a good guy, man. Buddy is a great human. Nice as can be, awesome teammate, family man, great in the community, hell of a player. I'm a fan. Have been going back to the Oklahoma days, man. Jimmy, give him his flowers. Stop him with all this bullcrap about he needs to stop dribbling, man. If he dribbles one more time, man. Oh, it's so annoying, Jimmy. And I know you're kidding and you're busting balls of a teammate and all that. I get it. It's annoying, dude. And it's so on brand with your unbridled arrogance right now. And Jimmy had a good game last night. The guy's backing it up. What can I say? He has completely recharged this program. He's putting up big-time stat lines, greatly contributing to winning. Okay? It's all happening. I acknowledge it. I give him credit for it. All right? I just think the guy's gone Hollywood. I do. And I don't, missing a game with the pelvis thing. I'm not into it, dude. I'm not into it. No, you got to play through that stuff, man. But anyway, 28-7 last night. He was very, very good. Stephen Curry was amazing again. 22, 10, and 7. 2 blocks, 2 steals. Just solid. I mean, it was a meat grinder game. It was an old school 90s game, played in like the 90s. And I think, in terms of scoring, and I think Golden State ended up getting slightly over 100 points in that game. It started getting into blowoutville, but Houston scored like 85 points or something last night. It was crazy. And then Draymond Green was terrific. 16, 6, and 5, 2 blocks and 1 steal. Guys, I did a hit with VSiN yesterday morning with my boy Tim Murray, and he asked me about this game. And I said it's tricky because it's at Houston. They've won 2 in a row, all this kind of stuff. But just the most important thing here is experience. Been there, done that. Jimmy, Steph, Draymond. Been there, done that. Versus the unknown. Jalen Green in a game 7, LP Şengün in a game 7, Jabari Smith in a game 7, Ahmed Thompson in a game 7. It's the first time for all those guys. I'm going to fade that every single time. And it usually comes up correct, and it came up correct here. It was a way stronger trend and factor than home court advantage for Houston. And experience it's the number one thing going for Golden State right now. It is. It's experience. You say, well, Steph Curry's shooting it up. He's the best shooter of all time. But you think about Golden State, Draymond, Butler, Steph, Podziemski, and then Hield and Moody. And it starts getting kind of like, where's the scoring going to come from? Can I rely on these guys every game? Like, they're not deep at all, okay? So to me, the experience factor, just knowing how to close out big-time, rugged playoff games, it's the best thing they have going for themselves right now, that championship DNA. Great season for the Rockets, my little team that could. Number 2 in the West. Nothing to be ashamed about, guys. Do not trade for Kevin Durant. Go trade for Giannis if you want. Hook into some Giannis. Give him Jalen Green, give him Jabari Smith, a couple of picks, and bring Giannis down to Houston. That's a move I would do. I ain't trading, and I love Kevin Durant, but I ain't trading for a 37-year-old guy that breaks down every year. I ain't doing that. No. I do not want you to bang on Jalen Green. Don't do it. Don't bang on Jalen Green. He did not play well. He didn't. He would tell you that. He struggled. Who didn't see that coming against Golden State? Oh, you thought he was averaging 20 points a game against Golden State? You're a fool. Nobody around here would have told you that. He performed under what I thought he would do, but I knew his numbers were coming down. He's an ebb and flow guy. He's not Shea, 30 every night. He's a high-low guy. He's a yo-yo. He's a roller coaster ride. I knew that there were going to be some ups and downs. I'm not mad at him. You've got to get on this stage, get in those fights, and learn from it. But don't go Luka on it. Don't go Luka on it, where the loss goes in one ear and out the other, and poof, it's gone. Season's over? Party on, baby, let's go. No, okay? And the party's going to be on. There's always a party for these NBA guys. Live in the gym. Jalen Green's got to get his 3-ball completely dialed in. He's just got to get better at everything. Ball handling, strength. Jalen, just keep working on your game, bro. Correct the wrongs, and everything's going to be fine. Fred VanVleet probably played his way back to Houston next year. Last 4 games. I mean, Fred VanVleet's the reason we went 7 games. All right, like one human being caused that series to go 7. Last 4 games, he went 25 with 8 threes, 26 with 4 threes, 29 with 6 threes, and then 17 on 6 of 13. And he was solid in game 7. I mean, he shot the ball well, didn't score a whole lot, but was solid. I think he's played his way back to Houston, whether we all like it or not. Ime Udoka is a straight gangster. I love his coaching. It's the way it should be. I don't care about your feelings. Kick ass for me right now, or this isn't going to work out. He might win Coach of the Year next year. Warriors against Wolves in round 2. It's the Steph Curry Bowl. Why? You say he never played for Minnesota. He should have. Remember Minnesota? My Wolves passed on him twice in the same draft. It's the Steph Curry Bowl. I want a media person to ask Steph, are you still pissed that Minnesota passed on you twice in the draft? Just to get, he's going to say something funny about it. He may be like laugh and go like, pissed? Yeah, no, not pissed. But I mean, they probably could have done a little bit better job. You know, the whole room erupts with laughter. Like some reporters got to ask that. Steph, all these years later, this is the team that passed on you twice in the draft. Any thoughts on that? Like, you just got to go there. You got to get that. Prediction, Wolves in 6. Wolves in 6, baby. Close it out at Golden State, just like they did at the Lakers. That's right. They're going to Chase Center. It's swaggy Anthony Edwards is going to be out there doing his thing and whooping, and he's going to be walking down the streets of San Francisco afterwards and telling everybody what's up, just like he did in LA after sending Luka, Doey Doncic, and your Lakers home. It's a Cam 4. We're only through 1. We got 3 to go. Let's go. Number 2 is game 1, Pacers and Cavs. Indiana takes it 121 to 112 because Darius Garland didn't play. This is not good, folks. The last time he played was April 23rd. All right. We are at Cinco de Mayo right now, 5-5. He's been off the court for like a little over 2 weeks now. And you think, they're just holding him out, they're playing Miami and all this kind of stuff. He'll be fine. He's not fine. He just missed game 1. And they lost, okay? This is Panicville. It is. Push the panic button. Everybody in Cleveland right now, local sports talk radio, should be, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're screwed. This season we won, what was it, 58 games? Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. 60-some games they won, actually. It's Panicville. It's Panicville. Darius Garland I don't usually play this card either. It's time to panic right now. Run around. What do we do? Okay, fire on, whoop, whoop, whoop. It's that right now in Cleveland. I'm telling you. Sprained left big toe for Darius Garland. This is not a turned ankle. This is a sprained toe. Is it turf toe? We know how painful that is. We know how hard that is to recover from. And you know how you recover from it? You get off your feet and you let the puppy rest. You can't do that right now. This is bad, guys. This is bad. It's the biggest question mark in the playoffs right now. Kenny Atkinson started Sam Merrill over Ty Jerome. Kenny A, coach of the year, you got to fix that. That ain't it, okay? Push Ty Jerome into your starting 5. That's how, and play him 35 minutes. He's a stud. He is a starter masquerading as a bench player. Sam Merrill ain't it, bro. Put a Coro in there or something like that. I don't like Sam Merrill. Starting 5 against Indiana, it's over his head, bro. It's over his head. You got to make an adjustment. If Garland's out, you just got to green light Ty Jerome. Just throw him to the Wolves. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Just like put him out there. I thought that was a mistake by Kenny Atkinson. Halliburton and Nebhard were spectacular. They combined for 45 points, made 16 of 25 shots. Turner, Siakam, Nesmith, all solid, did their thing. Are the Pacers for real? Yes. Here's why. And I picked Cleveland to win this series, but I assumed that Darius Garland would be ready to play. He's not. It flips everything. And I'm not saying Indiana's going to win this series. If Garland comes back and plays in the next game, I think Cleveland's going to be fine. If Garland does not play in the next game, I think the series is over. This is all on Darius Garland. Can you play or not? The Pacers were in the East Finals last year. The Pacers beat the Knicks in the second round last year at New York. Remember? Okay. They just knocked out Milwaukee. And they might knock out Cleveland here. I'm saying they were a Final Four team last year, and they very well might be a Final Four team this year, okay? They are for real. Indiana's for real. Are we sure right now that Indiana, that New York, the Knicks, are better than Indiana? Are we sure about that? I'm not. Indiana beat New York in the playoffs last year, all right? Indiana was a little bit below the Knicks in terms of record this year. Indiana's deeper, arguably has more overall talent, okay? And so, anyway, they're for real. They're not like, oh, it's a nice story. No, they're trying to build on what they did last year. Like for them, I would think finals or bust. They were in the East Finals last year. Why would you, let's just go to the second round and lose? No, nobody's thinking that way there. And so Darius Garland is the whole key there. Number 3 in Cam's core 4. Game 1, New York at Boston. Guys, this is the 17th time these two teams have played in the playoffs. Second most all-time behind Celtics and Sixers. But these franchises have not played in the playoffs since 2013. The Celtics own the New York Knicks. They've won 8 of the last 9 meetings. They won all 4 this year, okay? And they had an incredible 130.2 points per 100 possessions, the most the Knicks allowed to any opponent this year. So the Celtics have figured out the Knicks, and the Celtics are going to win this series. This series will be won by the Celtics at the 3-point line. That's how they do it. That's their formula. In 4 games in the regular season, the Celtics made 39 more threes than the Knicks. That's tied for the 4th biggest differential for any regular season series in the 46 years of the 3-point line. Let me say that again. The separation between the Knicks and Celtics in the 3-ball game in the regular season is the 4th biggest differential of team versus team in a regular season in the history of the NBA. Fourth biggest. We've had the 3 line for 46 years. That's domination, folks. Domination. The Celtics tied the NBA record for made threes, 29 in their opening night win over New York. I think you get the point. And I don't believe that New York is going to be able to keep up. All right. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby have a lot on their plates. All right. Bridges shot 7 of 22 head up with Boston this year. Anunoby shot 2 of 15 head up with Boston this year. Now they got to guard Brown, Tatum, Derek White, and they got to score on the other end. Have fun with that and pack a lunch. Cat must play like a Tiger. He must. There is no sort of like optionality here. Karl Anthony Towns needs to be an absolute beast. First round against Detroit, he went 19.7 points and 10 rebounds. I got to be honest with you. As I prepared this and I looked at that, I was like, damn, he was at 20 and 10. Did it feel like 20 and 10 to you? Did Cat's performance against Detroit for the whole 6 games feel like a 20 and 10 to you? It didn't to me. All right, and I remember games late in the series where he's barely scoring and fouling out and all that kind of stuff. Like, okay, 20 and 10. That's not going to be good enough against Boston. He was 19 and 12 against Boston in the regular season. Again, good, really good stat line, all-star stat line. He's got to go 24 and 12. He's got to go, he's got to Hulk it up and go from what Banner or whatever the guy's name was, the human version, to Hulk, okay? Cat's got to become Hulk in this series because we already know that Jalen Brunson's going to go Hulk smash. He always does on everybody. Mikal Bridges might be the most important guy in this series. Not like the best, but the most important, as in maybe pivotal, okay? He's got to shoot well. He's got to defend well. And he's got to basically play every minute, all right? I mean, this is what you signed up for, you know? And so go out there and do it. It's not going to work out. It's not. Celtics in 6 is what I got going here. I got Celtics in 6. So I think it's going to be a good series. It's historical, you know, great venues, TD Garden, Madison Square Garden. All of that is going to be really, really cool. But I got this one going to the Boston Celtics. So we can, I guess right now, bring in my buddy James Young. He is waiting backstage. So without further ado, let's bring in Coach Young of SportsGrid. Coach, what's up? You're smiling, you're beaming. You must be enjoying all this basketball, man.
Hey, listen, Rick, it's great to be on with you. It's the best time of year. It's the NBA playoffs. I know people are going to sit there and say, you know, maybe we didn't get, especially the 1-8 series, the level of basketball we expected. This is kind of like the beginning of the NCAA tournament where it's like, oh, there's no upsets. This is where the real fun begins. And I do agree with you. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I love the Knicks, but I got to be unbiased. They're not winning this series. Let's just call it what it is. Can the Knicks be competitive? Right? 3 out of 4 matchups, you know the story. They got their doors blown off. Only game close, 119-117. Obviously, that win, in which the only game with the Knicks had their totality of the roster, namely Mitchell Robinson, who's working its way back. But I think one of the best bets on the board, now hopefully we can talk sports gambling, I like where you're going. I'm taking the Knicks plus 2.5 games. I think this goes 6. Boston's going to give you one stinker from the 3-point line, right? And then they're going to give you, obviously, maybe, you know, Brunson steals you another. That's as far as they get. Celtics, I agree with you. They win in 6 games.
I hadn't looked at that. The Knicks plus 2.5 games. Because a lot of people probably think 4-1 and all this kind of stuff. New York is ready for the fight. They're going to be in there throwing blows. You've got extremely competitive guys. They're just not going to beat Boston. They're just not going to win 4 games. And its depth is a huge reason why. I do like how Mitchell Robinson is playing, but he is sort of, I don't know, putting a little lipstick on a pig that's a bad bench with New York for me. I'm not a McBride guy. I'm not a campaign guy. I'm not a Shamit guy. Like, that's just not doing it for me. You got to play your guys all the time. But you said it. Jalen Brunson's going to get a couple of wins. Because I don't trust Cat in this series, Coach. I don't. So let's just have fun. I'm going with your flow right now. Let's talk Cat. Give me your view on him in the Detroit series. Because I think the numbers tell a different story than the reality that happened on the wood. Like, did that feel like a 20 and 10 series to you? if you take the stats out of it and just the eye test, did that feel like a 20-10 series?
Rick, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And there were times where you just didn't even see him get the ball. I thought that when JB Bickerstaff started Tobias Harris on, I'm like, oh, put Cat in the low post, dump it inside,
Yes.
turn straight, stretch over, shoot over him, no problem. And you never saw that from Cat. You saw glimpses of it, but there were times where he was disappearing offense. And Rick, in long stretches, when the Knicks made this trade to get Cat, they looked at Boston. Folks, everything New York has done the last 16 months was geared at Boston. They had no defensive stoppers. So they went and got OJ and Mikal strictly, folks, for Tatum and Brown. I don't care what anybody says. That's the only reason they made that trade. And then Mitchell Robinson getting abused on pick and pops with Porzingis, they turned around and said, we got to go get our version. And they went and got Cat. That's all it comes down to. So the Knicks, Brunson's going to show up. If Cat is not, honestly, I'm going to be crazy. If he's not 24-10, they got no shot at winning this series. Like, no shot. He's got to be that guy that brings it all 7 games or 4 games, and when Brunson goes off, because the Knicks are top heavy. You mentioned the bench, and I think people don't understand like how good Al Horford's been for a long time. The minutes that Sam Hauser gives you, and then my favorite nickname right now, Pritch better get my money. Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench. Like, Rick, I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be shocked if this is 2-2. It's 2-2. And then UC go boom, boom. Boston blow them out game 5, game 6. Because let's be honest, Tibbs is going to play these guys 40 minutes. They're going to run out of gas.
That's hilarious, man. I think Pritchard's going to be a big factor in this series. I do. You've got the bench guards for New York, and then you've got Peyton Pritchard. It's like, that's a mismatch to me. Coach James Young hanging out with Rick Kamla here on the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. And let me tell you what James has going on here. Host of Betting Above the Rim podcast, lead basketball analyst over at SportsGrid, and a hell of a guy and a brilliant basketball mind. So you said you wanted to talk some betting. So let's blend this thing. I really like Boston in the series. I love your plus 2.5 game idea. I like the Knicks tonight, Coach, plus 9. And here's why. Boston is weird at home. They just are. We just saw them have, they were saying on a TNT broadcast, this is the best road winning percentage in Celtics history, some crazy like that. Like on the road, phenomenal, spectacular, as good as it gets. At home, to me, they can be got. And they shouldn't. It should be Boston, TD Garden, places on fire. Nobody goes in there and wins. But that's not how it goes. And it's 9, okay? And New York didn't go 7. They went 6. So they had the weekend to chill. And I like the Knicks plus 9 tonight. How you feeling about that?
Love the Knicks plus 9 points. I also think there's a little bit of when these teams have easier first-round matchups, you can get got, right? We saw last night, Cleveland got. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to win. I think they cover the 9. I think we'll talk about it a little bit. I think Denver is going to cover the 9.5 tonight versus Oklahoma City. I think teams get got. When you go to the prop market, 2 guys to look at. Because first, when you look at the Knicks, I look at the fact if I am Joe Mazzulla, I'm looking at Cat Brunson. I got to limit those guys. So where can you find a guy? Josh Hart over 19.5 points plus rebounds. This is a guy that's going over 3 straight, 5 out of 6 versus Boston. And he becomes like Dennis Rodman on the rebounding boards. And to go along with that, look at him to possibly lead the series in total rebounds. Tatum, I don't think it's there, right? Cat, it's got to go Porzingis on the perimeter. Porzingis, it's got to go guard or Cat on the perimeter. And here comes Josh Hart flying in for rebounds. Josh Hart over 19.5 points plus rebounds tonight. Josh Hart to lead the series in rebounds. And then on the other side, he's back tonight. I think he's going to play a pivotal role in the series, and that's Drew Holiday. He's not on an injury report. He is available over 12.5 points plus rebounds. That's an insanely low number for someone as effective as Drew. Think about the Knicks now defensively. Who you got to stop? You got to stop Tatum, you got to stop Brown, and you got to stop Porzingis, right? So now you're looking at the other side and like, okay, it's White or it's Holiday. Who am I going with? I'm going to go with Drew Holiday because I think they're going to give him a little more space to shoot. Over 12.5 points plus rebounds for Drew Holiday. I think he's muted right now, but I will say this. It's going to be
my mic was muted for that whole time.
I thought you were like my ex-wife talking to me a little bit, Rick. I saw the lips moving, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything.
I like that. I'm coming out of wreckage as well, Coach. I understand everything you're saying about that. But it's so nice out here. Elbow room, freedom. Oh, it's so nice. Anyway, you guys should give this single thing a shot. I'm just saying. All right, let's talk OKC and Denver. Who do you like in the series? You already said you like Denver plus the points tonight, but that doesn't mean you like them for the series. Who you got winning the series, Coach?
It's the same. I'm going to the same recipe with New York, Boston. I'm taking Denver plus 2.5 games. Why? Listen, SGA, fabulous season. MVP. The best player in the world is Nikola Jokic. And he gives Hartenstein fits. He's going to give you one. What do you get out of Jamal Murray? The bigger question for Denver is the two guys that played extremely well in Game 7 and in Game 5, that's Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. Those two combined to almost outscore Kawhi, Zubac, Harden by themselves, the two of them. I like them plus the points tonight. And then you get to the props. And it's Brody. He's going back. And it's 10.5 points.
Yes,
he's going over 7 out of the last 8 games. And he's going against Oklahoma City. You think Russ is going to shoot 4 times against OKC back in his building where he can be considered right now the greatest Thunder player of all time because of his length of his career? I'm sure SGA probably will pass him. I like him over 10.5 points. And then to SGA, if I am Denver, I got to make him a distributor. I got to make him move the ball. I got to get it out of his hands. Now, the stats say no, but I'm going to go over 6.5 assists. Under 4 in the last 6, under 4 out of 5, the end of the last series, in the last game of the regular season. I think if I'm Denver, make other people beat us. And it's plus money. SGA over 6.5 assists tonight.
Woo, I like it. We will, that, and this, Coach, like that's an easier said than done thing where, you want to take the ball out of his hands. And, the guy scores 30 every night. He's one of the most consistent players I've seen in a long time. And I won't, get too hyperbolic with it, but every night it's 35 and 5, 1 block, 2 steals and all that kind of stuff. But I like where your head is at. I like the theory. I also like the plus 2.5 games with Denver because I think that this is going to be a 6-gamer. I don't see it going 7. I think OKC's clearly a better team than Denver, but Denver's got championship DNA. They do have badasses, and I think they got a couple of wins in them. And we come from one Russell Westbrook Bowl, and now we have another Russell Westbrook Bowl, and an even stronger Russell Westbrook Bowl from all the time that he spent there with Oklahoma City. Coach Young, I am curious, who do you have winning it all this season? Who's your pick to win the championship right now?
I have to go with the team that is the defending champions. I'm going to go with Boston. I know 2-0 OKC. I know everybody's like, well, they beat them both games regular season. I'm throwing it out the window. Boston, with their star power, the fact that they've been there, and it's been ascension by OKC, I'm still wondering when it gets to that finals, can Jalen Williams, is it Holmgren? Who is going to be that next guy? I also figured at some point, Jason Tatum's going to go off. We thought it was going to be last year in the finals. It wasn't. It was Jaylen Brown. And there's this wild rumor going by Shams that maybe that this could be the breakup of Boston a little bit with almost a $500 million bill next year with the luxury tax. They may have to make some moves here. So I think that's where you look at. But one series that I think is going to be not as interesting as other people think, I went on SportsGrid before the NBA playoffs started, and I got like triple heads. I said, Minnesota's going to the conference finals. I just looked at the matchup with the bigs and the athleticism of Ant and that team versus LeBron and Luka. Tell me how this is any different with Golden State. Right, I know
totally
he doesn't.
Agree.
I know
I
know Draymond doesn't like Rudy, and he's going to do all this stuff. But if you really line this up, right, if you say, okay, unless you're Steve Kerr and you have to dust off Kevon Looney off the scrap heap, you're going to put Draymond on Rudy. So now you're like, well, what do you do with Jimmy Butler, right? Jimmy Butler's pretty thick and can guard bigger guys. Do you put him on Randall? Well, then Ant goes off. Well, then you put him on Ant. Then Julius goes off. And I just like the fact with Julius right now as not being, and he knows he's not the guy. When he was in New York, even though it was Brunson, he still thought he was the guy. He kind of lies under the weeds. Jaden McDaniels has taken a monumental leap in these playoffs. And I do think you look at a guy like Naz Reid off the bench where you want to go big boy ball, go 4-5 with him and Rudy. You want to go small ball, stretch 5, bring Naz Reid in the game, he can hit that corner pocket 3. I think this series, ready, is over in 5. I think Minnesota absolutely rolls the Warriors. Steve Kerr literally was grasping at straws the last 3 games, and he pulled the right one in Buddy Hield last night. He's not going to be able to pull it for more than 1 game next series. Steph looks like he's also kind of running on empty. Give me the Timberwolves in 5 games.
Coach, I want to talk with you about Steph with that. He's the greatest shooter of all time. He's in my top 10. When he won his 4th championship, Coach, you might want to put earmuffs on here. I mean, it's a top 10 list, right? And I'm a historian, and so, someone's got to come out if someone's going in. And so I love him. But Larry Bird came out. Once upon a time, the greatest shooter of all time. He's been passed by Steph. So Steph is now on my top 10 all time. Number 2 point guard of all time behind Magic. Okay, so it's heady stuff, right? But one thing, Coach, that Steph is not, he is not unstoppable. You can stop Steph. You can blitz him. You can trap him. The bully ball thing, a lot of teams have tried it. That can be effective. You just over time take a little bite out of him, take a little bite. But it's more like the teams that make, and you saw a little bit towards the end of the Houston series where they just made that decision. Steph's not killing us tonight. And I think every team should go into a Golden State matchup and say that. The thing that Minnesota has, Coach, you've got Jaden McDaniels who can single cover Steph. You've got Ant-Man who can single cover Steph. But you don't want to gas out Ant-Man running all the figure eights and all the stuff Steph does. So if you put a man and a half, you blitz him with 2 dudes, and then swing, and it's a Pajemski 3, I'm living with that all day if I'm Minnesota. So Steph is stoppable, and that's one of the reasons why I like Minnesota to win this series as well. But talk to me about defending Steph and how, do you perceive him as unstoppable, or do you agree with me?
It's going to sound crazy. This is when he's going to miss Clay. And this is where Clay shined, right? This is where Wiggins at times shined, where you blitz and then you get out of it. Here's Draymond, punch the gap, drive the hole. And that's why Draymond got open a little bit, hit those 2 threes, which I thought was really big for Draymond last night, because Draymond's got to be a little bit more of a scorer. But you mentioned, obviously, that you could put Ant on him at times. You could put McDaniels on at times. Mike Conley is 4,000 years old. He can run another guy on him.
Good point.
And then you can play the different coverages. You can blitz him, right? And really force Draymond to be a scorer, right? Or make him be a facilitator, come off Pajemski, make him hit the corner 3. That's why Buddy Hield is so important in this series. But then, you can't even hide Buddy Hield in this series. That's the thing that people don't realize. If you put Buddy in an offense, he's going to get torched on defense. And if I am Coach Finch, I'm looking at Buddy right there and saying, that's him. I'm going every time. So, yeah.
He's the pigeon, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, what did Pep call those guys? A cone? Buddy Hield's a cone. But he's the Bahamian bad man, bad Buddy. He could shoot the you-know-what out of it. But he's going to kill you the other side. But, yes, different coverages, blitz. You're not going to see this drop coverage out of Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy will even come out and play him a little bit, because it's kind of like the whole Lakers thing. People are like, oh, well, Luka, just get him in drop coverage. Rudy played it a little bit better in the second half of that series. And then if you think you're getting torched, you just go to Naz Reid, who can step up and play that blitzing really, really well. If it is Draymond setting the screen.
Coach, if Buddy Hield is a cone, what is Doey Doncic on the defensive end?
Oh, he's a cone, or I don't know what kind of. He's a small cone, right? And here's the thing, folks. I want people to understand.
Not a traffic cone, but a smaller cone than a traffic cone. Huh?
And here's the thing: when you think about the Lakers lost that series, folks, at the deadline when they didn't get Mark Williams. They lost that series because they have no interior presence and they needed Mark Williams. I'm not saying Mark Williams is, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, but he's closer to Michael Thompson. He could have gave you something. He could have gave you something. And that's the thing is, I think JJ got caught. He got caught in his pride and in his ego of, I'm doing it this way. This is the way I'm doing it. I'm going small ball, come hell or high water. And you notice, Rick, being around the game a long time, playoffs are won in between the games. When you switch up matchups, when you switch up coverages, when you take your scouting report you spent 2 days on and you throw it out the damn window because it's not working. That's how you win series. And I'm really shocked that Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks, two guys that are veteran head coaches, didn't sit Jay down saying, relax. You got to play Jackson Hayes more than 4 minutes. You got to play Alex Lynn something. And Coach, I thought JJ got caught.
Coach, I don't think they can. I'm not a JJ Redick guy. I did like the hire, and I think he did 50 wins. Like, I give him credit and stuff. I think his arrogance is off the charts. I think his ego's off the charts. I don't think you can talk to JJ. I think JJ does the talk and you do the listening. I love the guys you just mentioned. I think that and maybe I'm wrong here. I can't imagine Scott Brooks being like, yo, JJ, we've got to do this. I just can't see that because of the vibe that JJ puts out. And again, God bless him. I hope he coaches her a long time. The arrogant dudes just kind of turn me off, Coach. One more for you here, and we'll let you go. I said before you came on, the Cleveland-Indiana series completely pivots on Darius Garland. And I think it is panic time in Cleveland right now because you thought, they're just resting him against Miami. He'll be fine. He just missed game one. They took an L. Home court advantage now lies with the Indiana Pacers despite Cleveland winning 60-plus games and all this stuff, okay? If Garland can't come back, they're done. If Garland comes back, I think Cleveland wins the series. I think it all hinges on DG. Do you agree?
Yes. And I think what you've gotten out of Indiana is a much different Indiana team. Folks, take out the first half of the year when Tyrese Halliburton was awful. Awful. They are so much more dialed in. And you know what? They're just like Cleveland. You know why? They're the sum of their parts. It's all of them. It's obviously Halliburton. It's Siakam. It's Turner. It's Nembhard. It's, Benedict Mathurin. It's Obi Toppin at times. It's McConnell. They just roll guys at you until they get what they need to take it home. And I think people need to understand, Rick Carlisle is one of the most underrated coaches of this generation. No one talks about how good Rick Carlisle is.
Thank you.
No one. And he's one of the very best to do it the last quarter century. I think you're right. If Garland comes back, I think it's Cleveland in 6. If not, Indiana finds their way to the Eastern Conference Finals again to match up again versus the Boston Celtics.
Coach, promote your stuff, man. Your writings, where we can watch you. This has been killer. You have absolutely set our show ablaze here. But let us know where everybody can watch you, read you. Let us know what's up.
Yeah, just follow me at Coach Young NJ on social media. Obviously, I'm the lead basketball analyst on SportsGrid. I have my Betting Above the Rim podcast. I record Monday, Wednesday, release Tuesday, Thursday. Betting Above the Rim Pro Basketball today, 10 to noon. Eastern Standard Time on SportsGrid Series Channel 159. But it's great to be on with you, Rick. I've been on with you before. Hopefully, we can run it back sometime soon.
Coach, we most definitely will. I'll be in touch, all right? Really appreciate the time, sir. Good luck with those wagers because they were really making a lot of sense. And we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate you.
Coach Young, hanging out with your boy Cam. I did a couple of interviews with him when I was working over at Mad Dog Sports Radio, and this is the first time he's been here on this platform with me, and I absolutely love that. His energy's amazing. I'm a fan. That was really, really fun. Big thanks to Coach Young once again for stopping by. All right, let's get back into our rundown here, folks. We'll wrap up now Cam's core four with number 4, game 1 between Denver and Oklahoma City coming up tonight. It's an MVP showdown. I mean, guys, this is as good as it gets. Jokic, SGA. Denver's won a championship. OKC is everybody's picked, almost everybody's picked to win the championship this year. Ding, ding. I mean, this is as good as it gets. The regular season doesn't matter anymore. Let's just go out here and prove who is really the best. Jokic is the best player in the world. SGA had the best season in the NBA. That's how I view it. SGA is my MVP. You have to go back 8 years to find the last matchup like this with 1v2 in the MVP. 2017, it was OKC with Westbrook and Houston with James Harden, and they met in the first round that year. This is a very fair fight. I do think OKC is going to prevail. But these teams split their 4 games in the regular season. They split their 4 games in the regular. They're 8-8 since 21-22. And as far as head-to-head playoff history goes, Denver's 1-2 and OKC's 1-2. And a lot of that is historical stuff that doesn't matter so much right now. But the 8-8 since 2021-22 does. These two, they're not afraid of each other. They know each other well. They get fired up to play against each other. And it's going to be a hell of a series, man. I can't wait. Jamal Murray, to me, is the most pivotal player in this series. Most important, most pivotal, however you want to say that. He averaged 18 points in 8 regular season. Pardon me. So this is the difference between regular to postseason. He's a +6. He's 18 in the regular, and he's 24 points per game in 72 playoff games, okay? That Jamal Murray has to play. And they don't have to get that Jamal Murray every game, but they got to get that Jamal Murray like 5 times. Okay, and you say, Cam, you only need to win 4. Well, do you really think that every Murray eruption game they're going to win, right? So give them a bonus eruption game, right? And maybe you win the 4. I don't think they're going to win the 4. But the bottom line is this is what needs to happen. Jamal Murray's got to go off, kind of like Karl Anthony Towns, if New York wants to beat Boston. OKC's secret sauce is a couple of things. Defense and ball security. The Thunder can play you anyway. They can blitz you. They can switch. They can stay home. They're great at any method. They were 19-0 when holding opponents below 100 points. 19-0. They're 50-1 when keeping them under 110 points. What? Denver was 1-16 when they failed to crack 110 points. So that right there is your magic number for Denver. They got to get to 110. Good luck. This is OKC. For my money, I know the stats say they're in the top 5. Andre, are they the best defense in the league by rating? The eye test tells me they are the best defense in the league. And I know Houston was high. I know Orlando was high. OKC might have been number 1. But their defense is incredible. I mean, Caruso and Isaiah Joe and SGA and J-Dub and Chet and Hartenstein. Every single one of them play defense. Case and Wallace, I'm trying, and then of course you have Lou Dort. I'm trying to think, is there literally a guy that plays for the Thunder in their rotation that can't defend? Like a Buddy Hield. And Buddy, I'm not trying to bang on you, but Buddy's not a defender, right? He's a scorer. And Luka's not a defender. He's a scorer. So you've got guys like that, right? Like everybody on OKC is either it's defense first or they are offense first and they play a lot of defense. That's why I believe they're winning the championship this year. You got to get stops, man. In OKC ball security, check this out. They had the second best turnover differential in 48 seasons that turnovers have been counted. I'm going to say that again, regular season. They had the second best turnover differential in the 48 years that those stats have been counted. That's crazy, right? You can't turn them over. You can't speed them up. In the first round, they committed 8.8 fewer turnovers than Memphis, the second biggest turnover differential in any playoff series in those same 48 years. This is stuff. It is. This is the stuff of champions. I know they haven't done it yet. Guys, we got to watch 3 more rounds of basketball. But dang it, I know a champion when I see one, man. They're the best team in ball, and I think there's a gap. There's a gap between them and Boston. There's a gap between them and Cleveland. That's how I view it, man. If OKC doesn't win this chip, I am going to be surprised. I got OKC in 6 over Denver. My cameo of the week goes to Jalen Brunson for being the best clutch player in the NBA today. I defy you to name me somebody that you would rather have with the rock in the clutch right now. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Durant? Would you rather have LeBron? Would you rather have Luka? Would you rather have Steph? Would you rather have Jokic? SGA? Who would you rather have than Brunson? Okay, 10 seconds left. You're down 1. Who would you rather have with the rock? I'm going Brundog. I'm going Brundog. There's no one in the league I would rather have with the rock game on the line than Jalen Brunson. He will find a way, okay? It's the crossover of death against Oscar Thompson. It's one of the greatest crossovers in the history of the world. We all remember when Allen Iverson crossed over Michael Jordan. Oh, my God. Okay. The crossover of death trumps that. Maybe not for iconicness, but for importance. Okay, that was a regular season game when AI did that to Jordan. That was the crossover of death. It won a playoff series. That was absolute coin flip at that point. Brunson misses that shot. Game goes to overtime. Detroit wins. Game 7 at New York. What? It's one of the most important crossovers of all time. The crossover of death. Yes, titled by me. Oscar Thompson was putting a blanket on Brunson in the fourth quarter of that game. Brunson was awesome in the first 3 quarters. He had 40 in the game. Score title 113. ISO, Brunson and Oscar. Brunson hits him with the crossover of death. And it was between the legs crossover, too. And then he had to hustle back with a couple of right-handed dribbles to get to the top of the key. And then whoop, rise up, and Oscar's hand comes like this right as he lets go of the ball. Like, Oscar still almost got there, okay? 40 points, 7 dimes. Check this out. Brunson in this series scored 30 or more points in 5 of the 6 games. 7+ assists in all 6 games. What? He went 31, 4, and 8 for the series against Oscar and Cade Cunningham. 2 of the best defending wings that we have in the league. Stop it. Oscar Thompson, I promise you right now, is like, how in the F did that man score 31 points against us? Didn't it feel like Oscar Thompson was taking a bite out of Jalen and you look up, there it is, 35 points. And that's insanity, okay? He's the best clutch player in the game. I mean, he's the clutch player of the year. He won the award. He is the anti-James Harden. Jalen Brunson's the anti-James Harden. I'll get to him in a minute. Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year. Averaged an NBA high 5.6 points in clutch situations. All right. Led the league in field goals made, 2nd in total points, and 3rd in total assists in clutch situations this year. The Knicks were 17-11 in clutch games. And I can't wait to see Brunson and Cade playoff matchups, regular season and playoffs for the future. This is a rivalry. They don't dislike each other. I mean, it's not like that. But they're 2 stud young guards in the East, in their prime, on the ascent. Cade and Brunson. Brunson was on the MVP fringe last year. Cade was on my MVP fringe this year. And Cade in this series, he was really good. 25, 8, and 9, 1.3 blocks, 1.8 steals. The shooting was tough. 42%'s not going to get it done. It's against New York, you know. What did you expect? 5 of 28 on threes. Cade needs to live in the gym and just popping threes, baby. That's what I would do. And I love Cade Cunningham, and he is a hard worker, and he will fix all of this, and he'll be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I almost said Predator, but Terminator style with the wraparound shades. All right, it's time for Rick's rant. Gather around your little phone. Gather around your laptop. Gather around your little iPad, whatever you're watching me on. Hi, it's Rick Kamla. This is the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. What's up? Rick's rant. When are you going to stop overrating James Harden? When are you going to wake up? Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. You're unconscious right now. All these people, oh, Harden. When are you going to stop overrating the Clippers? I had so many people come on this show, and I love them all, talking about the Clippers. And the Clippers are going to do this, and the Clippers are going to do that, and they're going to beat Denver, and I got the Clippers, and they're going to go farther. Why do you all think this? Why? Why are you lying to yourselves? Why do you continually back these losers? I don't understand it. Media people who have no dog in the fight they're wild about the Clippers. Why does everybody want the Clippers to be good? They actually don't think they'll win. They want them to win. It's like a weird deal. It's like it's a prediction, but it's also what you want. It's not like objectively this is going to happen. I've crunched the numbers and boom, this is what it spits out. No, I want the Clippers to win, so I think they're going to win. It's all asinine to me. I want to thank James Harden for always coming through on my predictions. Always. Undefeated in playoff series. Undefeated. And I'm undefeated. He's very defeated. I'm the guy that's undefeated. He makes me look smart. James Harden helps me pay the bills, okay? We're in the prediction space. We're in the speculation space. We're in the analytical space. We got to be right with our shit, okay? And James Harden makes me look wise every single time. He's the most easy fade late in a playoff series ever. It's easy money, guys. It's guaranteed. Lock it up. I don't understand the Harden believers and the Harden bleep riders. I don't understand. You all are lying to yourselves. I just don't get it. Once again, thank you for buying it, okay, and going with that flow. I'm over here on anti-Harden Island, and I do appreciate the player. I do. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot guy. I've got him on my team in the Cam Dynasty. I love the stats, okay? This is that gap, that weakness, that point in the resume where there's nothing there. He's not a playoff performer, okay? It's never going to happen. You say, Cam, you can't use words like always, never. Usually, I firmly believe that you should not use words like always and never. With this exception. And you say, well, he was really good in game 6. Okay, I get it. I saw that, and I knew that would be out there. Well, Cam's going to hit us with and what about game 6? He had 28, 6, and 8, made 10 of 20. James Harden was a monster in game 6. I mean, I give him credit. He was fantastic. How about game 5? All you Harden believers, don't forget about game 6. Don't forget about those 2 40-point games when he was with Philly and they were playing Boston. And then I point out, yeah, I think it was game 1 and game 4. He had 40 points in those games. Look at game 5, 6, and 7. I'm saying he doesn't suck in every playoff game. He's not going to suck in every playoff game for the rest of his career. But he's going to suck in game 5, game 6, and game 7. Almost every single time. That game 6 was a complete aberration. Game 5, 11 points, 3 of 9, 0 of 2 on 3. That's what I'm talking about. What about game 6? I give you game 7. He had 7 points on 2 of 8 shooting and 1 of 4 on threes. My man took 17 shots in games 5 and 7 combined. He should take 17 shots in each game. Why doesn't he? Because he runs from the smoke. He ain't into it, dude. It gets too hard, and he hides from the ball. Let Kawhi do it. Let Norm do it. Let Zoo do it. Let Amir Coffee, for the love of God, do it. Stop it. He hides from the ball. He don't want it. I'm telling you, this is year after year after year after year after year after year after year. His whole career. Go look at go to basketballreference.com. Go to career playoffs and look at the game log. Or you could just trust me. I've been doing this for 30 years at a national level. I don't understand. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to turn on this guy and be real with this guy? I mean, like, he gets let off the hook. why do people cover for him and rationalize and justify? And, well, the only reason Harden sucks late in series is because defenses adjust him. Bull crap. It's because he hides from the ball. He is the GOAT of playoff shrinkage. There's no overall deviation from this. Yeah, game 6 was okay. All right, good. All right. Way to go, dude. Way to go. You forced a game 7 when we all knew you were going to choke and fall on your face. Face plant once again. Memo to the media. Stop overrating the Clippers. Why do you want them to win so bad? I don't get it. Where does the overrating come from? Just be objective. Tell it like it is. What have the Clippers ever won? What have they ever won? Oh, they went to the West Finals a couple of years ago when they beat Utah in the second round against an injured Donovan Mitchell. Ooh, congratulations. I mean, at least you went there once, right? They've only been to the West Finals one time in the history of their franchise. My Wolves aren't that much better. They've only been to the West Finals twice in the history of their franchise. But I'm not pumping them up and saying they're going to go to the damn finals every year like all these dumb media people. Hold James Harden accountable, please. Great player, first ballot Hall of Famer, but the biggest choke artist we've ever seen in the NBA. Just hold him accountable. Don't let him off the hook. Drives me crazy. All right. I'm all fired up now. It's time to bring in my buddy, Shaquille O'Neal, for this week's MVO, the most valuable
other.
Shaq, what's up, dude?
Not much, Cam. Good to be on your show.
Shaq, what have you been up to over the weekend?
Carrying Charles Barkley.
Oh, I see. Do you feel like you carry Kenny Smith as well?
No, Kenny's a terrific analyst. I hate it when he runs to the board, but I love Kenny. I hate Chuck.
All right, I understand. Shaq, stand by. I'm going to tee you up with who I think the MVO is, and then you co-sign and you let me know if you're cool with that, okay?
That sounds like a plan, Kamla Juice. Shoot a man.
Wow. Shaq, you're so much nicer this week to me than you were last week. What's up with that?
Well, last week I was in ball-busting mode, and this week I'm not, and so that's what you get. I actually DJ'd a show last night in Atlanta, late night. I'm a little tired, but had a great time, so I'm in a good mood. Love you, Cam.
Love you too, Shaq. All right, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook scored 10 of his 16. This is game 7. When he shined and James Harden did not. All right, Russell Westbrook scored 10 of his 16 points in the decisive second quarter, hit 2 huge 3 balls. He shot 42% from 3 in the series. Take that, James Harden. All right. And so Russell Westbrook was absolutely spectacular. And I want to get into some of the quotes after the game here. And obviously, look, Buddy Hield deserves some love here for the MVO conversation, but we already kind of talked. I mean, he led the show. Shaq, you okay with that? Like that we already gave Buddy his dap. We led the show with Buddy Hield. Is that okay with you?
It's fine with me, Cam. I like what you're doing. Keep going.
All right, cool. We will. So Russell Westbrook here, obviously game 1 with the big turnover on Harden and all that kind of stuff. But he talked after the game. He said, I think they believe that was their best bet of stopping me or taking me out of this series, was sagging off of him and forcing him to shoot, basically. He said, but one thing that nobody knows is that I work my ass off. So regardless of what anybody does, I'm always prepared, and I'll be prepared for anything because I prepare myself for everything. And like I said, Russell said after game 1, if they continue doing it, I'm going to make them pay. I don't know what I shot for the series. They told Russ he shot 42%. He said, damn, that's solid. I guess it didn't work out so well for them. Russ also had 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals in 27 minutes in game 7. And so, Shaq, and look, you're the ultimate judge here, the ultimate decider here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think Russell Westbrook is the MVO. And if he wins it, Shaq, for this week, it will be the second time that he's been an MVO in the 3 weeks we've been doing these playoff shows. And so, Shaq, I ask you, would you go Buddy Hield? Would you go somebody else? Or would you go Russell Westbrook as your MVO for this week?
Kamla, I'm rocking with you. It's Russ.
All right, so go a little farther on this. Like, do you like Russ? Do you like the vibe?
I love the vibe. My best friend, Dennis Scott, calls him Little Rage. One of the best nicknames around. I love Westbrook. I love how hard he plays. All these chumps out here, they call him Westbrook and all this stuff. The guy's awesome. I love Russ. He's the MVO.
Shaq, can you win a championship without the others?
You already know, Kamla.
All right, Shaquille O'Neal, ladies and gentlemen. Shaq, take it easy, man.
You too, Cam. Later.
So Russell Westbrook had some sharp things to say after Game 7, okay? He said, my job for this team is to F-ish up, and that's what I did. I love that. Because he does. like they're slow and methodical and kind of boring. And Russ is, and he's just running and fast breaking, getting them running and all that kind of stuff. He just provides the juice, the energy. Russell Westbrook, after eliminating the Clippers, said, picked the wrong person, didn't they? And he was talking about the Clippers trading Russ up to Utah. Utah then bought him out, and he went to Denver. But Chris Dunn went from Utah to the Clippers in that trade. And so Russ was kind of trolling him on that. Shout out to Steven Adams, by the way. He was absolutely terrific. 17 points in game 6. I heard Charles last night saying after Houston lost game 7 that he should be high on a lot of contenders' boards. He's a free agent. To bring him in as a backup big, I completely agree. I think he'd be a phenomenal look for a lot of teams. All right, guys, shout out before we get out here. Gregg Popovich. My man Pop is done coaching. I got a couple of Pop stories I want to tell you here. On Friday, the Spurs announced that Pop will no longer coach the team. He's transitioning to a full-time role as the president of basketball operations, and good for him. He'll be able to chill, evaluate talent, wine and dine with his boy R.C. Buford and Brian Wright, and obviously Mitch Johnson and the whole regime, the whole family. It's just they do it right down there in San Antonio. Mitch Johnson has had the interim tag removed. He will now be the head coach for the San Antonio Spurs, and I like the synergy there. I mean, they've groomed him. He was an assistant with them for 10 years. And so, just hire from within. The guy looks like he's the right coach for this job. Look, we all saw this coming with Pop. At least I did, right? And you know the continued health issues and the significant health issues. You're like, golly, and he's 76. I hope I live that long, okay? He's 76. Like, when it's done, it's done, and it's done, and it sucks. It's tough news to take. It's sad. Pop ain't coaching anymore, guys. He's not coaching anymore. It's the end of an era. He's the GOAT, in my opinion. He doesn't have the most titles. You know, Phil's got him in that category. Red's got him in that category. But he does have a 5-ring dynasty. He won 5 over 15. He won with a bunch of different superstars. He won with different player iterations, different formulas for the team, you know, from a defensive team to, a up-pace 3-ball team when they got that one against Miami. What was that, 2014? Whenever that was. He just had to go with the flow of the changing of the NBA. Couple of Pop stories here, and we'll say goodbye to you for this week. Maybe the greatest compliment I've ever gotten. I got suit dap one time from Deion Sanders. Like, I'll never forget that. And it was, I won't mention the company I got the suit at. It wasn't great. All right. But I thought I was looking high. And I'm doing an interview, and Deion Sanders is like, nice suit. I was like, thanks, Deion. I'm like, oh my God, I just got suit dap. Like you can get suit dap. Like, I love my boy Andre, right? If Andre's like, dude, killer suit. Like, it's a nice compliment. You're getting suit dap from Deion Sanders. It's like having your favorite musician say like nice riff. It's like, oh my God, like that's crazy. Anyway, so Pop, let me take you back to a moment in time. 2007 NBA Finals, okay, in Cleveland. This is the series where San Antonio blew them out 4-0. It was LeBron's first trip to the finals, okay? First 2 games in San Antonio, last 2 games were in Cleveland. Game 4, San Antonio wins again, series is over. So y'all remember the moment. It's a very famous moment. When I can't remember who was coming out of the interview room, but LeBron and Duncan like passed each other, right? And they sort of had a little moment. And Tim Duncan said something, I'm paraphrasing, man, don't worry about it. The league's going to be yours soon anyway, right? And that's the gist of what he said. And it was a short and sweet conversation. Your boy was standing right there because I was waiting outside the interview room for NBA TV, waiting for the players to come out, and then we interview them, right? And so I'm standing right there, and, neither of them acknowledged me or anything like that, but I'm just like a fly on the wall, like, oh my God, I just witnessed history, NBA history, and I was literally like 1 foot away from it. I've been super, super blessed to have a lot of those sort of pinch me moments, but that was one. So how does Pop work into this? So again, chilling, just standing at my post, ready to do interviews, right? Popovich comes into the interview room, and he stops and comes over and walks to me. And this was very good for my job security, by the way. Bosses are around, producers, and they see Pop coming over to me. And I'm like, uh-oh, what did I do? I thought I said something stupid. And he was going to be, and he came over, and he's like, I just want to thank you for doing what you do And he's like, I can tell you prep your ass off. He's like, I can tell that you spend a lot of time prepping and digging and researching, and it all comes out in your broadcasting. And I really like watching you. And he gave me like a little pat on the chest, and he just walked into the interview room. It wasn't goodbye, see you soon. He just patted me on the chest and kept it moving. And I was like, oh my God, that was incredible. I'm like, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? It was really cool, man. So I love Popovich, man. I always have. And then there was another moment. And again, this is one of those crystallized moments in time, okay? You all remember the Derek Fisher shot down in San Antonio. I forget the year, 03, 04, one of those years, right? And hits the shot and just sprints into the tunnel, right? That was such a cool moment. And I'm not like Lakers Spurs, just that whole thing was dope. All right, so so after the game, right? I'm in NBA TV had me on a city by city tour, going to all these games, all these arenas to get interviews and stuff. Yes, it was amazing. It was freaking awesome. And so I'm in San Antonio that night. The Derek Fisher shot goes up. And the end of that game was amazing. You had Duncan with a shot, Kobe with a shot, it was bam, 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 bam. Like all these clutch shots in an otherwise miserable game. It was like 87-85 or whatever the final score. And so after the game, I'm in the interview room. And I know, and this is before that moment with Pop. That was 07, right? This is like 04. And Pop, at that point, probably didn't know who I was. I'd been on NBA TV for like a year. I was, the fantasy host and starting to do some anchoring and some reporting stuff and kind of more of the reality stuff, right? So Pop didn't really know who I was. So I'm like, but I know to be careful in a Pop press conference, right? So I'm in there and I'm waiting and a bunch of questions and kind of lulls. And I get the balls to ask a question, right? And I'm like, Pop, I mean, this loss, it had to be excruciating. Like, how do you deal with this? How do you process this? And he got a little ticked. He didn't take my head off, but he explained, we're not at war. Nobody's bleeding out there. Nobody has a gun in their hand. Okay. This isn't USA versus Russia or whatever. And I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said, but it was a war reference. And we know Pop's military background, right? And so he basically said, nobody died. We're not at war. We lost a game and we'll recharge and we'll get better. But it was one of the coolest responses I've ever gotten to a question that I asked. And thank God he didn't that's the worst question. I mean, it just embarrassed me, right? And nuke me. He did not do that. He gave a legitimate answer to it. I thought it was a pretty good question, right? But you could tell that questions hit Pop a little weird that way and I learned this over time, right? I didn't know it at the time. But when you sort of over amplified the importance of a basketball game, Pop always plays the life card. He'll always be like, guys, what are we doing here? It's a basketball game. We lost a basketball game. You know what I mean? We've got homeless people that need to be fed, right? We've got babies in ICU that we hope, make it through the night. There's stuff in humanity, okay, that matters a lot more than this basketball game. So Pop, love the perspective. I love the sense of humor. And I love you, man. I really, really appreciate your body of work, the dude that you are, and I hope you live until you're 108. And I didn't want to put that cap on you, but I hope you live a long life. And now that, it's the president of the team, but this has got to be kind of low-key retirement, right? If I'm Pop, I'm going to Mr. Holt. Bro, can I kind of come and go as I please? Can I be in sort of an emeritus role here, right? And around draft time and around the time, I'll be super busy, but then can I go fishing? Can I go to France and drink wine? Anyway, Pop, do you? We want you to be happy and we love you. Big shout out to Coach James Young for hanging out with me. Big shout out to Shaq for continuing to make these drop-ins to our show. It's Shaq. What a get, right? And huge shout out to Andre Lemouche as well. Guys, go to sportsethos.com, get a membership, download our app on the App Store, the Sports Ethos app. And I really appreciate you guys. Please retweet this and let everybody know that your boy Cam is rocking a hardcore NBA show over here on Sports Ethos. We'll be back next Monday at 11 a.m. and we'll fire it up again. Be well, guys. Have a great week.